on this episode of Keeping It Real Kitchen. This is Majestic Gent. I'm actually responding to a viewer request, dos LOBITOS. I think that's how you pronounce your screen name, but they requested that I made a homemade southern banana pudding. So I've never made a homemade banana pudding at all. I've normally did it using the instant pudding, mix that with some Cool Whip, use either vanilla wafers or Chessmen crackers, and cookies, and made it that way and just let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. But this time, he said homemade everything, but we're gonna do the homemade custard at least. The cookies won't be homemade. This condensed milk won't be homemade, and that's about it. So I got this recipe from Palatable Pastime on Gene's Kitchen. So shout out to Palatable Pastime. I was going to make this other recipe, but it didn't have the meringue on the top. But yeah, so we're going to roll with this one because it has the meringue on the top. So, that's what the egg whites are for. The egg yolks, everything else is going to be used for the custard, except for the sugar. The sugar is going to be used for the meringue on the top. Instead of, the recipe calls for vanilla wafers, but I like the Chessmen, so we're going to try to switch it up and give it a keeping it real twist with using Chessmen instead of vanilla wafers. All right, let's do this. So now we want to add our dry ingredients to the saucepan first with no heat. So this is a 1/3 cup of flour, and a dash of salt. That's what the recipe calls for, a dash of salt. I was like, okay, what the heck is a dash of salt? I don't want to mess this recipe up in freestyle because I never made it before, so I had to look it up. A dash of salt is 1/8 of a teaspoon, and I don't have one that small, so I just used a 1/4 teaspoon, and I'm gonna go with that. So now that the salt and the flour's in there, we're gonna stir that in the saucepan here. We're gonna turn on the pan medium heat here, and we're gonna pour in the milk slowly as we stir. So we're gonna pour in both milks slowly. So this right here is 2 cups of milk. I'm gonna have to add another 1/2 cup. The recipe calls for 2.5 cups. Okay, I stirred in 2.5 cups of milk. So now it's time to add the sweetened condensed milk. So before this starts to thicken too much, I need to get these yolks in. Now you definitely want to pour these in slowly and not have scrambled eggs. All right, now I'm gonna stir that. And the recipe says stir about 7 to 8 minutes until it starts to thicken. Okay, I've been stirring this for about 7 minutes and it's starting to thicken up now. So I think I'm going to remove it off of the heat. So I added 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm going to stir it up into the pudding or custard mixture off of the heat. So first we're going to add a layer of bananas, and on top of that we're going to layer on some pudding, and then on top of that a layer of cookies. 1/3 of the mixture of the pudding. Alright, so now I'll pour some of the pudding mixture onto the bananas, and then I'm going to put the cookies on top of this. And here's the first layer of Chessmen. What we're going to do is repeat the same process to make the second layer. Okay, so here are the bananas for the second layer. Now I'm going to spread some pudding on top of those. Okay, so this, like I said, this is my first time doing it, so I'm learning a lesson. So keep it in real kitchen, we keep it real. We don't. This is, I don't think I made it either. I used too much pudding on the first layer, but I have a little left for the top layer. So I hope this doesn't turn out dry. We'll see. Let's keep it moving. And here's our second layer. So once again, we just went with the same stacking. Let's kind of straighten that up a little bit. And you see the Chessmen make it kind of neat. So yeah, I kind of like this. All right, so for the last layer, we don't cover it with a layer of cookies. We just cover it with the pudding and the banana, and then we're gonna make the meringue and top it with that. All right, so here is the last layer of bananas. I sliced them a bit thicker on this one because I wasn't worried about them, everything being even and layered perfectly. So now to add the pudding. This is the last layer It tastes good. It's a little lumpy. It's not lumpy, like you can't taste the lumps in it, but it looks lumpy. That'll go away when we bake it. And I need to edge it with the rest, some more cookies, and then I'm gonna put the meringue on there and then throw it in the oven for a little bit. It tastes really good. The actual custard, I tasted it. It tastes really good, but I'm hoping that it's just not dry. That's the only thing. So I made a perimeter as best I could around the banana pudding, and it's going to be a good base for the meringue to just go on top of that. Okay, so now it's time to make the meringue with the 4 egg whites that we've had. I'm just going to dump them in this mixing bowl here, and we're going to beat them on high speed until it starts to foam. And then once it starts to foam, we're going to gradually add the sugar. I think it's like a 1/4 cup of sugar until it starts to look like meringue and stiff white peaks form. That's what the recipe says. All right, so here's the meringue on top of it, and some fell down here in this crevice, but I got most of it. And we're just gonna we want it kind of wispy. Like, you don't want to flatten it out, make it smooth. That's not how meringue is. It's kind of wispy. So kind of like not just spreading it around, but I'm not smushing it. The oven's preheating, 325. We're gonna put it in the oven and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't quite have it in there for 25 minutes, 21 minutes to be exact. I looked in there and I saw it was golden. This was as golden as I wanted it. Looks like it came out pretty good. Some of the cookies fell apart, but that's okay. Yep. So once again, just keeping it real kitchen. Just a gent. Thank you for all our subscribers. If you like what you see, click the subscribe button below, like it, and
that looks good.
Stay tuned. Thanks, Tomato.